Dog. There's that. Oh, 10 years. All right. Let's crap together. All right. Well, I think I got everything together. There we go. Now I got everything together. All right. I guess first things first. Let's try to put this servo together. This is an old servo, and it was pretty beat up, but I was able to fix it and make it work. There we go. There's a little, put a screw in there. And the question is, will that screw work? I don't think it is. I think this thing is, yeah, it's too short. Get that little bugger back out of there. There you go. Look in the box, see if we can find something a little longer. Oh, well, that screw is long out. Just drop that on the floor somewhere. There it is. Might use that for something else. Let's see. Gosh, I wonder, this might be too long. Huh. Well, let's try it. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be. Let's try it. Yeah, it will be. That's going to be way too long. Nope, that ain't going to work. All right. Let me go get my screwdriver over here. I'm going to drag it over here with me. Let us see what we got. I have something that'll fit. I only got like 1 million screws laying over here. All right. Hey, what about that one? That was a little shorter. I think that might work. I think that's the ticket right there. Yep, that looks to be the ticket. Come here, you. Let's see. Let's try to get at least close. Adjust it later after I get all the electronics hooked up. Okay. Well, that one's a little loose for some reason. Might be time to throw some washers on this joker. I think it's just a touch too long. This is an old Futaba servo. Probably had some crazy freaking wood screw looking deal in it originally. This is a machine screw. I mean, I got one over here. Well, I guess we can try it. Yeah, it's already pretty wore out. Can't hurt it anymore. Hey, look at there. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so now we got to figure out a way of getting this servo in there. And mounted. And yeah, I think I got her a little squirrely in the front end here. Yeah, we're going to back it back out. It's not. Well, you know what? Let's mount it first. And then when we get the electronics hooked up, we'll worry about it. That'll probably be our best bet. We're going to center it then. This dude here took them old freaking screws. I think I've seen some in here for servos. I know I got one somewhere. I seen it brand new in a bag somewhere. That's not it. No. I've got some used ones in here too, I'm sure. Oh, there's one. Yep, there's one. I had a Bolink Eliminator as a kid, and I bought it off of a buddy of mine. Well, there's the other one in my hand. No, it's different. And it was stupid fast, and we didn't have lipo anything back then. Everything was NICAD, and they were like ridiculously fast. Mine had a Corvette body on it. That's how it came. I bought it off of a buddy of mine, and yeah, it took flight on me one day. I hit a bump or a rock or something, and it got air up under the body, and that thing went sailing like an airplane. Did a somersault and then slammed down to the ground. That was too long. This one here is a Bolink that I got off of eBay, and the lady that sold it to me, I talked to her a little bit in messages, and it was her dad's, and he had passed away, and she was selling all of his stuff. It's pretty sad. And I was glad to have it, and I sent her a video of it running again. And whether or not she got to see it or not, I don't know. I never got any messages back from her, but uh, he was pretty good at painting. The paint job that he had put on that thing was pretty dang cool. I'll show it here in a little bit. Still having problems with my arm from an injury at work, and I've taken a bunch of BC headache powders at this point so that I can move and work around a little bit. Doctor said that it was good that I did keep it moving, just that she don't want me lifting over 10 pounds. So, obeying the doctor. And hoping this crap heals up before long because I'm kind of over it. Daggone, hurting all the time sucks. And I got a colleague at work who keeps telling me it's because I'm getting old and I'm not healing up fast enough. And he's older than me. That's the funny part. Like, ain't you one to talk? It's in comparison, I'm quite a bit younger. I'm not even 50 yet. I got a few months before I have that problem. I'm trying to put it off as long as I can. What sucks about getting, your right arm messed up is if you're right-handed. My buddy Paul's left-handed. I don't know how he does it. God bless him. That's all I can say. I have my left hand is good for holding stuff. That's about it. All right, so that servo, it ain't going nowhere. Yeah, y'all want to see some hackery? Look at that. I was just like, this thing's mainly a wall hanger. So, I mean, you ain't going to see that anyway, unless you pull the body off and look real close. It also had a rubber piece that went into the servo right there that was completely missing. And if you can see there, I kind of shoe gooed it up to keep water out. But hey, it works and it's strong. So, hey, that's fine by me. Okay. This is the speed control that I found. I think it's an A5 or a clone of an A5. It's a 1040. It's brushed and waterproof. So my thought is that I mount it maybe right there. And then I've got a brand new FlySky GT5 receiver in the package right here, if I can get it open. There we go. Come out of here, you. And it's got a bind plug, and in this mess of a room, I've got some spectacles around there somewhere. I need to find them because I can't see jack. Well, there they are. When you get old, you got to have glasses to see stuff. All right, let's see. There's my bind. If ever you're programming one of these FlySky GT5s, if you look on here, you can see it. Focus on something other than my terrible nails. Well, it's not really focusing, but you have a bind, and what you do is you take this little doodad here it comes with, and you plug it into where it says bind. right? And then it has your channels on here all the way. It's a 6 channel. And what you want to do is you want to plug in your servo for steering into channel number 1, and your signal wire, which is usually white or yellow, right there. Okay, you want it facing towards the antenna wire on these. Okay. Um, some like this will have a little. Well, this one don't. Most of them that have the white signal wire will have a little bitty plastic piece that sticks out on the side, so you can only plug it in one way. This clone here is not that way. It's squared off all the way around. So just keep that in mind. So now I've got that plugged in there. Okay. And I guess we'll go ahead and show you how to bind it. So let me find a battery. I had one the other day over here. There it is. All right. I'm not going to hook up the motor or nothing yet. And plug in my battery. Okay. And as soon as you do and it gets power, see a little red light flashing. Okay. It's looking to be bound. And then on your Fly Sky radio, there's a button that says bind right there. So what you want to do, well, first thing you want to do is you want to turn it on. Okay. And then you want to select your model. And all right, I'll go to a channel that I haven't. See, it says GT5A. That's one that doesn't have anything programmed on it. I'll select it, and then I can go over. You can actually tab over to name, and then we'll name this one. And you use a little dial here. See, I can change it. We'll go to B. L. N. Okay, for Bolink. Okay. All right, so now we'll turn it off. I'm going to hold the bind button in and then turn it back on. Make sure that was the bind button on. Nope, that was back. The bind button's over here. Sorry. Bind button. Hold it in. All right, here it goes. All right. See how now it's working? Okay, you're linked. So now we're going to turn this off, and we're going to turn our electronics off, and then you're going to pull the bind plug out. Ouch, that hurt my elbow. That's that. So now we're going to turn our radio on first. You always turn your radio on first. Anytime you fire up your RC, and then you turn on the power. Now look here. And already we know that we're going to have to adjust this servo. It is not tracking straight. So let's go ahead and turn it back off. Get our little screwdriver here, and we'll fix that. Easy enough to do. Just back screw out. Pull our servo saver loose. Move our battery so it's not in the way of our wheel. And I'm going to eyeball it here, try to get it as straight as possible. All right. And then if you find a place where it looks like it's straight, you're going to push it back on and then tighten your screw back up. There. All right. So now let's turn our power back on. And okay, now let's make sure our steering is correct. No, it's backwards. It's backwards. See, look here. Turn right, it goes left. Left, it goes right. So that's easy enough to fix. what you're going to do is you're going to hit the center button, right? Go into your menu. Then you want to go over to a series REV. Click it. See how it says 1 is normal? All right, click it again. We'll reverse it. Okay. All right, now right is right, left is left. Now we're correct. That's all there is to it. All right, turn that back off. Turn your radio off. Well, I didn't turn it off. Thank goodness we ain't got a motor hooked up. The thing go flying out the door. All right, here we go. All righty. So now our electronics is programmed for steering. You may have to do the same thing with your motor too. It may be in reverse. You can switch the wires around, reverse the polarity. I've done that before. You want to make sure though that the thing is going the right direction. So now here we are. I found this old Tamiya motor. It's a Mabushi sport tune motor, and these things would have had something similar back then, or maybe a little more hopped up. But for all intents purposes, this thing is not going to go on the road very often. And with these phones getting kind of brittle over the years, I really don't want to mess them up because it's not exactly something you can find very easily. Although, when I got the Traxxas Sledgehammer, it came with a box of Bolink tires that are a little bit wider than the ones that are on here, and I got a whole full set. Here's the some fronts, and they're a little bit bigger. Well, they're about as wide. They're just a little bit bigger in diameter. So I got a whole another set for this thing, so we can give her a rip. So what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of position our motor. Be delicate bending these wires. Break the solder off and you have to solder it again. I kind of like to have set it up so you can see the name of the motor. It's just a preference thing. It doesn't affect anything. It's just, I like to do that to be fancy. Okay, let's find us some screws that are long enough to engage the motor. Whoop. Let's not drop them on the ground. So, oh man, that's close. It needs to be a touch longer, I think. I'm about to go back to my screw box here. Ooh, if I don't mess myself up here trying to get the screw box up. So we're looking for a 3mm machine screw that doesn't have dog hair on it like that one. All right, there. See that right there? That's what you want. And then I have washers, and I'll hit my funny bone again. Over here, put a washer on there. And then we can thread her in. Now with this setup here, I may end up take this tire off. I can't remember. If you run across one of these classic Bolinks, they are fun. For back in the day when they came out, they're so light, they're ridiculous, and they're extremely fast. There's a lot of people today that still love these things, man. They will go crazy for one. That's too long. I like this one when I saw it because of the body. The gentleman who passed away, who painted this thing, me and him would have got along great because I really dig the paint job. I think he had good taste. Let's speaking of which, I guess let me grab that body real quick. Put this down for a second while I'm searching. You guys can check out the body. Take the pins out over here so they don't get lost. Because the Bolink came with some of the old school bent pins, but check that out. Yeah, and I do know that one tire's got a big bad spot in it, so I'll hide that. But check that out. The old boy could paint, right? I mean, he did a hell of a job on this thing. Deuce. Yeah, he was talented. He paints better than me. I can't paint like that. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully he's a painting in heaven right now, so doing better than us. Having to deal with the craziness that's going on around the world. Man, one of these days I'll have to organize these screws. I'll probably be able to find stuff a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster. Until that day comes, you hear me over here shuffling around looking for screws. I keep finding ones that are just a hair too long. Close, but no cigar. That's one thing with these classic RCs like this. I mean, some of the stuff that came with this kind of hard to find today. Although I will say the Bolink, I see them on eBay all the time. Oh, there we go. Found it. Found a match. All right, that'll work. That will work. Okay. Let me get this thing out of my way. Grab another washer. I like to put washers on here just to make sure I don't screw nothing up when it comes to this old stuff. I mean, it's not like you can buy brand new off the shelf anymore. They ain't making no more of them. I might be able to pull this off. Without taking this tire off, maybe. Let's see here. Good idea. Nope. It's going to have to go like that on the old. Dang it. I hate it that it's going to do that, though. Because the sticker's going to be upside down away over there. But do it that way, you ain't going to see it at all. Ugh, sucks. I just realized there's something taped on the back of this thing. Since I've owned it, I've never realized what the hell is that. The old man must have put something on here for some reason. Holy crapola. Bless his heart. I don't have to look for opinion. Check it out. The old guy taped it on there. The pinion gear was taped on the back of the chassis. I've owned this thing for years. I mean, I bought it from this lady a long, long time ago, and I never even realized that he had that on there. Well, sir, wherever you are, thank you very much. You just saved me a whole lot of digging and searching on eBay to get this old girl back up and going. Oh, me dogged. Well, now this is a neat one too. It's got, check it out. It's got a pin there you run in and on that side. I've never seen anything like that. That's kind of crazy. All right. Well, I guess the Sport Tune's just going to have to go in whatever way I can make it work. And I hate that I can't see the word Sport Tune because, I can't show off if I can't show what motor I got. Well, I guess you can see it from the back. Better than nothing, I reckon. Man, that's so awesome that old fella Put that on there like that. How cool is that? And I've already messed up. It needs to be a little longer. I thought as long as that thing was, it wouldn't have to be any longer than that, but it does. And I would have never been able to find another pinion like this that long that has to be extended this long. I mean, they may be some on the internet, but yeah, that's kind of nuts. I haven't seen anything like this in my lifetime. I remember having that Bolink, but I don't remember having a real long pinion like that. I guess it had it. Would have had to. That was a long time ago. Many RC cars ago. So readjust it here and make it a little longer. I like to make contact with my pinion gear and have it even at the end here. I don't like to have partial, connection. That time I went a little too long. Did I? Oh, it ain't bad. I mean, as long as the teeth are, I think it'll be fine. I think we'll just leave it alone. Leave well enough alone. If you're wondering how I got it in that hole that quick on this motor, your guess is as good as mine. It was just luck. A lot of times I have to search and find them. All right, I want to leave it loose so I can rock the motor back and forth. Okay. Let's see if we can get lucky enough on this hole. Oh my goodness. It's like it wants to go back together. Well, there. That's unheard of. Getting it right in there like that. That's nuts. All right. Back in the day, what we used to do is we used to take a piece of paper. You can stick a piece of paper between the gears and then squeeze the motor. And I'll show you. This is how we used to do it way back in the day to get it set right. All right, see, I rotate that piece of paper between my gears. And now I'm going to clamp down on it here with my finger and kind of pull it into the gear. Okay, now I'm going to tighten up the screws. Okay. All right. And now pull it out. And that's how we was, see? That's how we would set our gears. Now, I think the paper I used, though, is actually a little thinner than what we use in the day. That's printer paper. We do use notebook paper. And it's a little too tight. I can tell just by the way it's going. What I do nowadays, I don't do the paper method anymore, but let me see if I can turn this around so you can see. Okay, see gear right there? I like to back the motor out enough so I can, well, it would help if I could get it off of here. All right. See that little bit of wiggle? See it? That slight little wiggle? That's where you want it. You don't want it pushing too hard into that plastic gear or it'll eat that gear up. And at the same time, you don't want it too far away or it'll tear the teeth off the gear. So, you just want a little bit of play. I mean, just a tad. And if you use the paper method, if you're going to use printer paper, you probably ought to double it over or something, give you a little more width. Or if you can find the old notebook paper, the paper's thicker. I should have thought about that. I just said, well, paper's paper, but it ain't. So our motor's in, and I mean, look here, turning good. On these old Bolinks, you could adjust the differential on the end of the wheel. See how that nut's big? And there's bearings in here. And there's actually your differential is actually built into your spur gear. And you could, by tightening or loosening that nut, it actually changes the diff. So you can make it like limited slip or posi track just by tightening or loosening that oddball size lug nut. And that's the way they made them. So here's how I think I'm going to lay this out. I think my speed control is going to live right here, and that makes a good place for it to connect up here, right? My motor. Make sure my wires are long enough. Yeah, be all right. And I think I'm going to take my receiver. I'm going to make it live right about here, and then I'll have to do something. Maybe I'll flip it around this way. Yeah, because there's where your antenna would have went right there in that lug there. And there's actually a hole in this thing, or should be, if I remember right. Pretty sure there's a hole so you can thread the needle more or less. Yeah, there it is. Well, you're not supposed to thread it all the way through, but you get the idea. You got to kind of curve it and get it started. And it should come up this tube, and then you'd put the antenna tube on there, which I'll do that, but it's kind of fiddly. I might have to get a pick or something to pick it up. But let's go ahead and get the electronics mounted. So I got my gelatin double-sided sticky tape. This stuff's mean. I'll probably use that on the speed control a bit. It'd probably be best. Yeah, let's do that. Let's use this on the speed control because it's heavier than that receiver, and I'll use the lightweight stuff on the receiver. Oh, well, I thought this was the gelatin type. This ain't. This is 3M. I had some that had the red on the back that it looked like clear gelatin, and that stuff is crazy. You get that on there, and yeah, you ain't gonna have a good time getting it back off. All right, so now let's see here. Oh, I got some smaller pieces already cut. This might work. Forgot about these. We'll just stick that on there. Oh God, this was the gelatin type. I thought it was red, but it's not. Yeah, this stuff here is a bit overkill for the receiver, but oh well, too late now. I don't know who makes that stuff. I got it in a box of some electronics to mount my electronics with, and I was like, "Holy cow, this stuff's crazy!" And it is. It's like crazy glue, crazy. All right, put that right there. Make it live right there, and I'll peel this one. There we go. And this one here, I think we'll just make it live right there. I guess I could turn it this way. And let's do that. Let's move it all the way over here. And now we'll turn it that way. There we go. All right. See how we looking. Yeah, that ain't bad. I got another one of these. I saw it yesterday when I was cleaning up the shop, and I threw it over here in the corner. It's under a bunch of boxes and stuff that I've got for sale on eBay here. Let's see if I can find that thing. So we kind of need it right now. Let's see. It's what I get for throwing stuff around the shop. I got some nicer ones, but I use those for my crawlers. Well, I know I had it. I threw it over here. I got so much stuff over here bagged up and trying to sell a bunch of stuff to kind of pay for this project right here. Well, that is not the one. It's in here somewhere. I just don't know what I've done with. Oh, there it is. Right there it is. Well, no, that ain't it. That's something else. Oh, well, that's Swanee. Where did it go? Surely I didn't throw it all the way over here on this side of the bench. Unless I put it back in the drawer, which I probably did. I was cleaning up, or calling myself clean up. Oh, there it is. Yep, I did. I put it back in the drawer. That's why I couldn't find it on the desk. Okay. Here we go. So, let's see. This one here's a little dirtier than this one, but all right, so we'll go up here. I'll stick this through here. And of course, I spun it the wrong way. There we go. And we go. Oh man, I'm messing up everywhere. There we go. So there we go. Okay, so now that we got all that, it's just a matter of hooking up our wires, and we're going to test again to make sure that our motor is wired correctly. Just because this is red and this is black, and on with the Tamiya colors, that's your ground and that's your hot, doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually true. Somebody may have soldered the wires on wrong, or you never know. So let's see here. Of course, I've done away with my battery again. There it is. All right. And this wouldn't be the type of battery that you would run in this thing, but it's for testing purposes. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We're still going to mount our on-off switch somewhere, and we need to tidy up all these wires. So let's turn on the radio. Okay. Hit the switch. Okay. Let's try forward. Yep, and forward is forward. And as you can see, Bolinks are stinking fast. Yeah. To be as old as it is, I know the modern stuff is pretty good, guys, but these old ones, they're not to be trifled with. Look, it's nothing but carbon fiber. I mean, the chassis is nothing but a sheet of carbon fiber, and with a couple of little carbon fiber braces. Now, this in the back is aluminum. All that's aluminum. This bracing. But these things were stinking fast. And and that was back when we didn't have LiPo batteries and stuff like that like we do today. And they were quick back then. Quick enough to get you in trouble if you accidentally had it coming back towards you and whacked yourself in the leg. I'll tell you that much. You wouldn't be happy. Nope. You'd probably have some choice words. All right, I'm going to have to go over to the other side of the shop and get my mini tie straps. All right, let's see here. The little tie straps. Let's be this. There they are at the bottom. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, so I'm back here. Let me see about getting this microphone wire untangled, though. This thing's wrapped all around my chair. I don't want to tear it up. I just bought this thing. Really So I come back here the other day, and I kept hearing something rummaging around inside the shop and making noise. And I was like, "Oh my God, there's a rodent in here. I've got a mouse in my hobby shop or something." You know, I live out here in the country, so I mean, you know, that's part of living in the country is, you know, you occasionally get mice in the house. And I was like, "Oh no, there's a mouse in here," and it was freaking me out because it kept making noise, and I was like, "I'm gonna get this thing. He's gonna die today." And come to find out, it wasn't a mouse. It was our cat, Coconut, and he had been looking for a place to hide from the dog to take him a nap because her dog is infatuated with him and acts like she acts like she's in love with Coconut. And Coconut the cat, he's a boy cat, he found him a sneaky place to sleep in my hobby room, and that was inside the area where my 3D printer is. And he was there's because my 3D printer has like a thermal tent thing that my buddy Paul gave me, you know, to keep all the heat inside while you're printing. Oh, he got inside there, and yeah, he decided to take him a nap inside there, and yeah, he had me freaked out because I kept hearing noises. I was like, well, either the place is haunted or I've got a mouse, and no, I didn't have a mouse. The place ain't haunted. I had a cat sleeping in there. The noise I kept hearing was him just, you know, up and tossing and turning, trying to get comfortable in there. And then when I found him, he meowed at me like, "Hey, hey, buddy, this is my sleeping spot. Find your own." I was like, "Dude, you can't sleep in there. You'll get hair all in the motors and everything else." Yeah. As soon as he seen I was getting ready to open the door to the hobby room here, he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm hungry anyway. I guess I'll go get something to eat." And he decided to split. All right, so there's that. So now all we got to do is find a place for their power switch to live. Let me grab his body here. What would be a good spot for it? You know what? I'm going to have to take the body off to hit the switch anyway because the body covers the chassis completely. So why don't we just let it live over here somewhere? I think that would be just fine. Yeah. Yeah, maybe like right in here. I think might be all right. And then we'll take this and kind of push it over here. Maybe I can get it strapped in. This one's got a long lead on the power. I like that on 1040. I usually don't. I usually run a 1060. I used to run 1040s and crawlers and stuff, the A5 ones, until I found Hobby Wing, and then I was just like, yeah, Hobby Wing. I do like the Hobby Wing better. I can't say that the A5s are not reliable because they are. For me, I think I like the Hobby Wing 1080 for a crawler, especially, a lot better because it feels like it gives you more control, and they are very tunable. I think that's the other issue is the tunability is a major thing with crawlers, and you know, you get a lot more tunability with the Hobby Wing. The A5, I mean, it's okay. I mean, you got drag brake or you don't, and that's kind of about all the tunability you have with it. I mean, yeah, you get, you know, those of you guys that play with those, you know, well, there's more than that. Yeah, I know. You can adjust to drag brakes so much and what have you, but with the Hobby Wing, it's like completely different. You can tune the crap out of it. You can tune, even the acceleration curve and everything, which makes it a whole lot better. Well, all right, there we go. Um, the only thing I got to do now is this, which is not fun, I can assure you, is to get this little thing. I'm going to have to put on my spectacles for this. Thread this needle through this hole. The antenna. Can you imagine though? I mean, back in the day, you didn't have like a little antenna like we have now, a little short one like this. Back in the day, I mean, we had a real long one, that you would have to thread through. There we go. There we go. Use the Allen wrench, kind of grab it, pull through. It's like, woo! Gotta get her through here. All right. See? That's like that. And now you would have an antenna tube, which back then, we never bought antenna tubes, ever. What we always did was we always got a tube out of a Windex bottle and shoved that thing down in there and pretended it was an antenna tube, and kind of trimmed it at the bottom to make it fit. I'm sure everybody's done that at some time, but a legitimate antenna tube. Yeah, I got one here, so let me grab it. Okie doke. Here I am. I'm back. This is actually a real antenna tube. You can see it's kind of old. Yeah, it is old. And there we go. That's how it would have went. And I would imagine they probably would have done something like that to get the body to fit. The wife was barking at me today for using up her Lysol wipes, as I've been using them to clean RC cars. I said, well, I've been doing a lot of work in the shop. I've been trying to clean this stuff up and make content for you guys to watch, because I haven't really been doing that. Every once in a while, I mean, you gotta clean things up. And this, where I live out in the country, we have cornfields and stuff all around us, and cows and whatnot. And that little thing in that little hole was made, and it gets dusty in here. And this room faces a field, and man, I tell you what, it gets pretty dang dusty up in this joint. That ain't no joke. You can see there's dust all over this thing, and it's been sitting on a shelf. It's been sitting on a shelf, and it's got dust all over it just from sitting. So we're going to use some more of her Lysol wipes. That's what we're going to do. She'll just have to get mad at me. She'll get over it. Been married to that girl since 1995. She's done learned to tolerate me. She knows I'm about as rough as they come, and I ain't gonna change. Thank goodness the good Lord gave her to me, because I don't think I could handle being with anybody else. Just too opinionated and too set in my ways. This older gentleman that painted this body, man. I mean, I don't know if I showed you guys the front. Check out that. Isn't that so cool? He did that. I mean, he was a cool cat, that guy. Yeah. I really dig his handiwork, and I honored to own this. I mean, I'm sure he had a lot of good times with it, and I've run it. It's fun. This thing, it's quick. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys up. There you go. You look at me here in a minute, but yeah, so you get a better look. Check it even has Bolink on the valve covers. How freaking cool is that? Right? I mean, I really dig this old girl. Yeah, my buddies were all teasing me. They got a bunch of Tamiya, I think a TTO1 and a TTO2, and they're like, "You need to get you a Tamiya, and we'll race." And I said, "I don't need a Tamiya. I got a Bolink. Let's go." And they were like, "No, it's cheating. That's cheating. You can't do that. It's cheating." That should tell you something right there about the old Bolinks. They were good. I mean, for on road racing, I mean, it's hard to beat. I mean, it's so light. I mean, it's a real hot rod. I mean, you think about it. That's the whole idea behind a hot rod is light, big motor, and Bolink really had that nailed with their cars. So, with that being said, I got to get ready. Some friends of ours have invited us to watch hockey tonight, which I've never done before. I'm not exactly a hockey fan, but hey, I'm willing to give it a shot. Why not? And there we are, guys. We got the Bolink Eliminator in all its glory. Yeah, man, that bothers me. But like I showed you, I've got replacement tires. Anyhow, you guys take it easy. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Later.